This story I didn't want to do because I felt like it was everywhere, and I don't really have any, insight that's any different from anybody else's. But the story is so crazy, and I realize that sometimes what's everywhere in my world is not everywhere in a lot of other people's worlds. So this is for those people. A veteran died in police custody. His body was returned to his family with some organs missing. 2 days before he died, Everett Palmer Jr. called his brother Dwayne to tell him he was on his way home from Delaware to New York to visit him and their sick mother. But first, he said he wanted to resolve an outstanding DUI warrant from an incident in 2016 in Pennsylvania to make sure his license was valid for the drive to see his family. The phone call was the last time the family would ever hear from the 41-year-old U.S. Army veteran and father of two. On April 9th, 2018, 2 days later, the family was told that Palmer had died in police custody at the York County Prison. 14 months later, the Palmers say they still don't know what really happened, but they are suspicious because when Palmer's body was returned to them, his throat, his heart, and his brain were missing. This entire case smacks of a cover-up, civil rights attorney Lee Merritt told CNN by phone. The family hired Merritt to help find answers because so far they have been unable to get them on their own, they say. Merritt says prison and county officials have not been cooperative with providing an official manner of death. Representatives of the prison could not be reached for comment on Friday. An initial autopsy by York's County Coroner's Office stated Palmer died after an incident following an excited state, during which he began hitting his head against the inside of his cell door. Get the fuck out of here. And was restrained. The report says Palmer became agitated as a result of a methamphetamine toxicity, a probable sickle red cell disorder as a listed contributing factor. According to his family, Palmer never had any health problems leading up to his death. They also say the autopsy report of him hitting himself are completely out of character. The York County Coroner's Office updated its autopsy results July 28, 2018 to include a manner of death which it's listed as undetermined. The autopsy report says details of the autopsy may be corrected as more information becomes available. The Palmer family says Palmer did have some history of drug use, but never meth. Prison processing reports made available to the family provided no indication that Palmer was under the influence or had any drug paraphernalia listed in his items when he arrived. So let me ask you a question. What sense would it make to this man to turn himself in to try to clear this up high? He went to the police. Get the fuck out of here. He would have had to receive the meth in jail itself. And we don't believe that, Merritt said. Palmer's body was returned to his family, but it was only after the family hired their own independent forensic pathologist that they discovered that Palmer's body was missing 3 body parts. Yeah, because who gets a dead body of their family member and starts inspecting it for body parts, for internal organs? For 7 months, the family could not track down Palmer's brain, heart, or throat. They say they were told by the York County coroner to check with the funeral home for the body parts. The funeral home says they hadn't touched the body, Merritt said. The family says that they were later told by the coroner that the body parts were at the independent lab. However, the lab, Merritt says, has refused to hand over the parts, citing an ongoing investigation. Merritt says the family believes the body parts will reveal details of how Palmer died, but we haven't been able to get them back yet, Merritt said. His constitutional rights are being violated. CNN reached out to the York County District Attorney's Office for comment. Kyle King, the chief administrator and spokesman for the district attorney, told CNN by phone the office of the district attorney does not comment on pending or ongoing investigations. When asked how long an investigation into a case like this typically takes, King said every investigation is unique. And he did not answer when asked why more than 1 year after Palmer's death, there was still no official determination about his cause of death. Multiple calls to the Pennsylvania State Police, which is listed as the investigating police agency on the autopsy, were not returned. The voicemail message left with the York County Coroner's Office also went unanswered. Of the 5 children in the Palmer family, Everett Palmer Jr. was like the glue that kept the family bond strong. His brother Dwayne said, "He was a gentle giant, tall and muscular, and served as a U.S. Army paratrooper. So did my dad." An avid sports fan, especially of basketball, Palmer was often found working out in the gym or helping others achieve their goals as a personal trainer. Palmer also enjoyed being a DJ and had a very eclectic taste in music, preferring heavy metal, according to his brother Dwayne. He may have looked imposing, his brother says, but he loved to smile. He joked around a lot. He was the life of the family, Dwayne Palmer said. He wasn't a perfect person, but certainly not somebody that's a rabble rousing, fighting, starting trouble or anything like that. He was a loving person. Speaking from his home in New York, Dwayne says the family just wants to know what happened. He says the information they have gotten and been given so far is scant. We don't believe anything the officials are telling us at this point. He said, it's a tremendous loss for our family, and we are devastated. And don't forget, this man just lost his brother, and he already had a sick mother, because that's where Everett was going in the first place. If he was being processed for something that he did wrong in terms of the DUI, he should have been held accountable for that. And he was willing to pay for that. And now this man is gone. But it shouldn't be a death sentence. Certainly inside of a jail, his brother added. We know that there are good people in the prison system. We appeal to them to come forward and share what they know. The Palmer family has put in a Freedom Information Act to request any video recordings from the York County Prison while Palmer was in their custody. It's been over a year, and we want some answers. He was delivered back to us without organs. We want closure, Palmer said. If something criminal happened, and I believe something criminal did happen, we want the people that was involved in that to be held accountable. I saw something once where they talked about, I don't remember who it was now. This is why I like to do these videos, because I often remind myself of where I saw things. But they were saying, you know, this is why people feel sometimes that police and corrections officers, that all police and all correction officers are bad. It's not because we think each and every one of you are out here doing these horrible atrocities. But why? And I know why. It feels to us that you aren't speaking out when they do happen. Like this family's appealing to anybody good that works at that prison to come forward and tell what happened to this man. But I also know the struggles that, you know, that good people in those fields deal with. They don't get promoted. They don't move up, you know, because they won't do what the others will do. So I don't know. I don't have it. Like I always tell you guys, I don't have the answers. But this shit right here, that's fucked up. This man that's a grown ass man. He made a mistake. He went to go turn himself in. See, now people not gonna want to, you want to know, like this, nobody ain't gonna want to turn themselves in. My black man, I weep for you. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. This is why I didn't want to do this particular story. This story hurt a lot.
I believe they destroyed his heart while tasing him. I believe they beat him so bad on his head, they damaged the brain. And I believe they choked him to death after that. And that's why they took those 3 organs. That's our belief. And because they're not returning the organs to us, I stand by that belief.
That we don't believe that my brother's death was a suicide, as first indicated. So what we do know is that on April 9th, we were informed of his death from the York County Coroner's Office. And they said that, they alleged that he had beat his head against the cells and then subsequently died from his injuries. We know that from the doctor that we hired that is not the determinative cause of death.